Right, what we're going to be making now, Hollandaise sauce. Nice classic French sauce. We can use Hollandaise for many different items, especially grilled meats. There's different derivatives of a Hollandaise, being a Béarnaise sauce, which is the Hollandaise with tarragon added to it. And I like to do mine with a little twist where I do shallots reduced in red wine, so it takes on the colour, and you have sprinkles of the red shallots going through the sauce. So for our Hollandaise, basic recipe is going to be 6 egg yolks. We've done a reduction of white wine vinegar and with some peppercorns, and we've reduced it down. We have usually 3 teaspoons, and we reduce it down to about 1 teaspoon so it intensifies that flavour. That's also going to get added to our egg yolks, and we're looking at 325 grams of butter. But for our butter, what we do need is something called clarified butter. Now what clarified butter is the separation of milk solids and water away from the pure butter. There's 2 methods to do this. One method, you put your butter into a pot, heat up the pot, and because the milk solids are heavier, they rise to the surface. Using our ladle, we're actually in a position where we can now start scooping off those milk solids. And with the water, it starts to evaporate, but then the milk solids, we do need to skim off. The other method is, once the butter is melted, leaving it on the side, because the milk solids are more heavier, so they sink to the bottom. And from doing so, you're in a position where you can then use a ladle and take that top surface off to get the pure butter right there. Okay, so remember what we're saying, 2 methods. One, putting the pot on, heat, bubbling, scooping off all those milk solids that's rising to the surface. 2, melt the butter, leave it to rest. It starts to separate, milk solids are heavier, and it allows us to scoop off our pure butter. So what we're making here, we're going to be turning our egg yolks into something called a sabayon. A sabayon is basically the cooked egg yolks that become light in colour, fluffy in size, doubles up in actual size. And actually to do that, we use something called a bain-marie, which is like a double boiler. So in this pot right here, we've got about a teaspoon, not centimetre to 2 centimetres of water. We do not need the water to touch the bowl. Now bear this in mind, you've got to whisk fast. We do not want our egg yolks to scramble, and the only way they scramble is if they stay in the same spot at the same time. So if it stays in the same spot, that means the eggs got opportunity to actually stop and start to cook more fast, cook as well. But we don't want that process to happen. So as a chef, you're always looking, control your heat. Control your heat. When there's too much heat going into the bowl, take it off, whisk off the side. Control your heat. Because what we're doing, looking to get air. Air must be getting into our sabayon. So we're always at times controlling that heat. Using various different techniques in all of our whisking, the figure of 8, around and around, back way, front way, but either way, both hands, but always moving. When the air leaves, we're controlling our heat, we're moving it around. And as you can see, come closer. As you can see, we're now getting a more lighter in colour, it's starting to go slightly bit more paler in colour. But one thing for certain, you always got to control your heat. Again, we come off. We don't want it too hot. We want enough heat just to help with the aeration that we're doing, the cooking of our egg yolk, but not enough to cook it to scramble it. But one thing you don't want in a Hollandaise sauce is scrambled eggs. So, remember what we're looking for? We're looking for our egg yolks to become more paler in colour, double more in size. So we use that using those 2 methods of controlling our heat and whisking. Remember what I'm saying? God gave us 2 arms, use them. One arm starts to get tired, use it, the other. But bearing in mind, what you're looking for is no surface of that bowl is to be left untouched. Every side of that bowl has to be moving, so there's no opportunity for our sabayon to actually stay still. And then once it stays still, remember I was saying, scrambled eggs. So all areas of our bowl is moving. As you can see, it's becoming a nice paler in colour. And what we're looking for is possibly something called ribbon stage. Ribbon stage is when you can take out some of it and it forms like a ribbon on the top surface. Not there yet, so we need to keep on whisking, controlling our heat. As you can see, we're using all areas of the bowl, making sure no area is left untouched. Controlling the heat. Keep on going. Woo! As you can see, it's coming lighter in colour, coming thicker in consistency as well. Wonderful. It's looking beautiful. Now I already spoke to you about a savion. Now what a savion is more like a dessert sauce. You use it as a glaze, you put it under the salamander and it will do a nice glaze on whatever you've coated it with. Yeah? But usually what you can have is sometimes kirsch. Did I say that right? Maybe, maybe not. But you know what I'm talking about. Add a little peach kirsch. Not kush, but kirsch. Yes? For those that know, that know. So, again, we're whisking. We're increasing. Volume consistency is thickening. And we almost, see that? It gets to that ribbon stage where that line is being formed on the top. And it's holding for that brief second. Yes? So now, we've got it at the right consistency that we want. This next stage involves us whisking our clarified butter into our savion. So as you can see, if it's just me by myself, it's always to use unwatered such like bain-marie to help me hold the bowl. There's one aspect where we can do that method right there, or the other method is using cloth to help wrap around the bowl. And then that way, we're in a position where we can slowly add our clarified butter, but whisk fast. Anytime you're adding an oil or anything that you're adding to another mixture, always remember, pour slow, whisk fast. Because the worst thing that can happen now is something called a split mixture. A split mixture is when, in this case, it's going to be the butter that's going to separate from our egg mixture. Now how this happens is if you add too much, no like that, if you add too much butter and not enough whisking. So, there we go, slowly add, whisk. Slowly add, whisk. And what's going to happen is our sauce is going to become thicker. It's going to create a nice consistency for our hollandaise. Now, what can potentially happen, as we said, is it become too thick, it could easily split. It's something we're always making sure. But if it does split, don't throw away the mixture. All I suggest you do is do that start again, take the 6 egg yolks, whisk it up to a savion, and then add your split mixture to your new savion, making sure you whisk fast. So we're just gonna add a little bit more of our butter. There we go. Turn it to a nice consistency. a little bit more. There we go. Looking wonderful. We're going to put that into a nice sauce. There we go. Taking that nice sauce-like consistency. And there we have it, Hollandaise sauce.